You said that your people have been fighting for 400 years.
And your people too.
So I want you to explain what you mean by that.
You know what I'm talking about. Y'all all know what I'm talking about, man. Don't sit up here and try to bait and not know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what the fuck I talk about when I say these things. Your people too.
That's right.
Explain it. Everybody knows what you're talking about.
Radio Raheem.
Yep.
I don't have to explain what's understood.
Tell him,
man.
champ.
You know what I mean.
Tell him.
That.
That's right.
You know what I say about it. I ain't gotta go further. And if anybody don't understand that, then God be with them. Go look up the history.
That's right.
Go look up the history.
That's right.
Don't everybody believe in Google?
Yeah.
Go Google that shit. See what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, man. You know what I dare you to sit up there and say, you know what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, man.
It's fighting people. You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day. To this day.
To this day.
To this day.
To this day. Radio Raheem here. I interviewed Deontay Wilder and he snapped. I don't know what's going on. All I did is ask the question. Radio Raheem. I have no idea. I think I need to talk to Radio Raheem. I need to talk to Deontay Wilder again. 1 second.
You said that your people have been fighting for 400 years.
And your people too.
So I want you to explain what you mean.
Your people too.
What I'm talking about.
Tell him. Tell him, champ.
Don't sit up here and try to bait and not know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what the fuck I talk about when I say these things.
That's
your
right.
people too.
That's right.
Explain it. Everybody knows what you're talking about.
That's right.
Radio Raheem.
Radio
I don't have
Raheem.
to explain what's understood, man. You know what I mean by that. You know what I say about it. I ain't gotta go further. And if anybody don't understand that, then God be with them. Go look up the history.
That's right.
Go look up the history.
History.
Shit, don't everybody believe in Google? Go Google that shit. See what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, man. You know what I dare you to sit up there and say, explain. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, why you lying for, man? Why you
You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day.
Yeah, radio shaking, man.
To this day.
Yeah, radio shaking.
To this day.
Yeah, that's right. He means business, boy. EJ Boxing Live here, talking that boxing. Yo, what's up, people? You don't know where's the likes at? I'll go 4 likes already. Okay. I don't know what's getting in the chat. No one's saying nothing about this controversy. This is all done to build up the fight. I want to be Deontay Wilder, Radio Raheem plan this shit. I don't know, man. I won't be surprised. It's all good though, because it helped build the fight, and people want to see the fight. Fury. And this is what they needed to sell tickets. People were talking about, oh, they're not going to sell tickets. Listen, it's a great promotional pull. And if you can put, I don't know, race in America, to make the buys go up, it will help. All this will help. How big will it be? I don't know. I'm not too sure how big it will be, but it will definitely do some numbers. Absolutely do some numbers. Will it break records? Nah, no, man. We never know with the fights. Just maybe if someone's ear gets bit off or something like that, you know what I mean? Well, we got 10, 11 people in the chat with no bloody comments, mate. So you guys are just listening to me. Fair play. Good to coming over. Happy you guys are here. I'm gonna do a prediction. Who I think is gonna win, and yeah, just tell you what I know about the two guys. I've met Deontay Wilder, man. Well, I haven't met him. I've talked to him on through Skype. And he's a very serious dude, man. Like, you know, the stuff he says, he really believes. I go back and take it back and say that these two have cooperated. I think what you saw was organic. Happened there, was spare in a moment. Wilder's a serious dude now. I mean, I was talking before he was heavyweight champion, but he's a very serious dude. And I think a lot of things in terms of where he is and where I talked to him then, it's all to do with respect. And when you're on the come up, you know, you become a champion, and then you see people across the pond thinking, you know, oh, how come I ain't getting that shine in my own country? You know, heavyweight championship of the world meant something, means something. Why am I not getting that shine? But as you all know, man, you know, there's certain things you got to do to get that audience. And even when you get an audience, like Lennox Lewis when he came over, not necessarily they're going to respect you. I mean, they're definitely going to watch you and hate you, but doesn't mean they're going to respect you. Deontay Wilder, in certain aspects, probably wants that respect. He wants what I can say what Joshua has and what Fury has, but just threw it away in the garbage. Fury had, you know, when he beat Vladimir, he had it. It was all just laid out of him, but because of, you know, certain things of his background and what he's been through, it's like he just tried to put it in people's faces. consequently resulting in him losing the belt. Now Fury, whole goal was to become the undisputed champion or the unified champion, beating Glad. That was his goal. After that, he was retired. This right now is just the icing on the cake, or the cherry on the top of the icing cake, whatever. I really believe that Fury's trying to give himself a nice bed to lay down if he gets knocked down. That's what he's doing. Because a lot of people I'm talking to, they're telling me like, oh, all Fury's got to do is go a couple of rounds and he makes Wilder look bad, and we can say that Wilder's not the truth. But boxing doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that in my eyes. You got to win rounds, round by round by round. And by the end of it, the judges will make a decision and calculate the scorecards. If it goes to the scorecards, and make a respectable opinion of who won the fight, and award it to the person. Now Wilder's job is not to try and let things go to the scorecard, so you're going to see him give up rounds. If that fight, when the fight happens, you can see him probably giving up 5 rounds. You could probably see that. But if in my case, it doesn't. If you can knock a guy out early, just take him out early and go home, and that's it. People get their money worth. Mike Tyson used to do pay-per-view sales and he used to knock out people early, and people got their money's worth if you can do that. Anyway, yeah, Wilder's mindset, he's deadly serious guy. I mean, what he says is that in his brother, his crew, he's dying for respect. Remind me of that whole situation reminds me of Mr. T in Rocky 3 when Mr. T disrespected Balboa's wife. When in Philadelphia, when Rocky was getting reviewed for why you don't fight me? I'm the one contender. You know what I mean? And like this and that. And he started dissing them and then Balboa said, I want to fight him. And he goes, nah, he's a monster, he's a beast. Fury, in other hands, yeah, is like he's taking it jovially and stuff like that, taking it everyone that. But the bottom line is this is the most hardest fight. It's gonna be the hardest fight of his career, man. He's up the hill, man. But you know, he's the way he's seen it, he's been here. He's done it before. Can he do it? Can he pull it out? He'll have to know for himself. In his last 2 performances, you'd have to think, nope. It doesn't look like he's got much punching power. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think he was he trying his best? All I know is this, definitely know this, that Wilder's the real deal. Wilder's coming, bringing that heat. And Fury, for the first time in his career, actually, in my opinion, on the head-to-head, just there when after the press conference, yeah, to me, and this is just my opinion, he look a bit shook, just slightly a bit shook there. Of the intensity of what Wilder was bringing, and they're trying to hold it back. They're not trying not to show Fury too much of what Wilder's going to bring into the ring, because if you let someone show your game plan up, then it's always up. Fury, but then again, even if you show that Fury, there's nothing much you can do because they've already got their game plan. Their game plan is to hit and move and tie him up and do all the little things. That's what Fury's game is. No secret what he's going to do. Now, if you're Wilder, this is what we need to do. If you're Wilder, you need to touch him downstairs. I mean, it's obvious. Fury's got a good engine, he likes to box and stuff like that. Anyone who's a good boxer, you need to touch them downstairs and consistently hit them downstairs, yeah, and that will take away their legs and stop them from moving so much. And also it hurts. It definitely does hurt, and you're breathing, and that will slow you down, and then you're not a moving target, and then you'll be right in line for Wilder. Now don't get it twisted, you know. Wilder could walk into a punch from Fury, you know. As he comes in, he could get caught bad, man, because he's so aggressive, having no respect for Wilder. Wilder having no respect for Fury, so he could walk into punches. That could happen. It definitely could happen. So it's one of them ones, the heavyweight division, who lands first or who's got the smartest game plan. It'll probably be either one of them two. Going back to Radio Raheem. Radio Raheem he put himself into the equation, especially with Wilder. And I know they've talked since, but Radio Raheem and a lot of Americans have come across, they listen to him and stuff like that. I've met Radio Raheem, like I said, I've met him. He's a cool guy. He can be rude, he can be abrasive, he can be rude sometimes. He can be quite aggressive sometimes and stuff like that. And he aggressively asked Wilder that question and acted like he didn't know what he meant by what he said. But at the end he goes, yeah, I know what you mean now. But he knew what he was doing when he was asking that question. Radio Raheem he probably can't, I certainly come from a different background, but he chooses to do a good job of being controversial. I remember his interview with Victor Ortiz shortly after the Mayweather fight, and Victor Ortiz was saying that he would headbutt, and Radio Raheem got the best. That was a really good interview. You know, he got the best out of him in that interview. We got Troy from Philly. Yes, that's right. And Radio Raheem really got really good interview out of Victor Ortiz with the headbutt. Then next interview, there's Sergio Kovalev and Andre Ward and the racist stuff. He he didn't really go into him on the racism, but he embarrassed Sergio Kovalev, made Sergio Kovalev, he made him think about stuff because he had a bag at the time. And Sergio, and at the end of the interview, Radio Raheem was asking, is that a purse? Why have you got a purse? And Sergio Kovalev was like, what? It's not a purse. Yeah, it looks like a purse. It was hilarious. You know, at them points, people can Radio Raheem, go get him. And now we're at this fight now. Oh, Radio, he's Radio, what they call him? Radio Raccoon? Radio Raccoon right now. You know what I mean? Like singing like he's like a coon. Radio Raccoon, or the names they call him Radio. Radio's like, yeah, man, he become infamous in this. Like, nah, certain people don't like him, and this is all to do with selling the fight, man. All to do with selling the fight, and it will sell it definitely might have bumped up the ratings a bit more because people want to see the fight now. Maybe people want to see Wilder versus Radio Raheem a bit more. I know they've talked since and they've squashed it, which is good because it's not good having bad blood dust in general. But my whole thing is like Radio Raheem knew what he was doing. He knows what's going on. He knows the situation in America, and then his thing was trying to incite Wilder to say certain things to get things. Because I look at it, there was in a media scrum, and like they put you in a media scrum, you didn't get a one-on-one. If it was a one-on-one, maybe he talks differently, but he had to have a real penetrating question to Wilder to get Wilder's attention, and he did that. It isn't the right time to ask the question. Yo, what's up, Troy from Philly, man? Yo, Troy from Philly, I'll drop the link in the chat, man. Jump in, man. Jump in if you want, man. I don't mind people jumping in. Like, I want to hear your opinion, bruh. Yeah, hear your opinion. One sec. Let me get you. Troy from Philly. I'll put it into the live chat right here. Y'all could jump in. You don't think it's the right time because you're American now. You be like, I felt, man. I was like, bro, why you do what else this? But then I said to myself, but they're trying to sell the fight, man. They're trying to sell the fight. They're whole trying to sell the fight. I think but Wilder generally had enough of Fury's bullshit. Had enough of his bullshit talking about, you know, community and this, that, the other, and getting sympathy. And Wilder's like, bro, they don't give me no fucking sympathy. Because Fury's laying down a nice, comfortable bed with all the stuff he's saying. It's like, bro, I can't lose. Even if I lose, I don't lose. That's what Fury's on. He came back from what he came back from, and it's this and that. Wilder seems like if Wilder wins, he beats someone who's been off for a while. Or Wilder beats, he beats someone who's on drugs, or you know what I'm saying? Like if this was Wilder's right. If it was in this situation, if he got found for drugs, they would have been putting it on him as well, which is true. This is true. This is true. There's the link. Troy from Philly, y'all didn't jump in. In my opinion, you know, this is true. You know, that is how most people would see it. And Wilder sees it that way, but at the same time, Wilder's like, I had enough of this sympathy thing. What about my sympathy? And that's what I saw with Wilder. And Radio Raheem questioned him on that. Questioned him on what about our people. But you know, the thing is, the whole that Radio Raheem guy is a fool. Yeah, that's my boy Jamal. Let me see, Jamal. We got here. Got another comment up here. Got Austin GT. Radio Raheem was trying to bait Wilder to get a reaction out of him. Yeah, he did. But you got to understand the situation because I'm a media guy. When you're in a media scrump and everyone's asking questions, yo, what's up? Yo, I'm good, man. Yo, the link's in the chat, bro. If you want to jump in, Austin GT, yo, you're welcome, bro. And you as well, Troy from Philly. You can jump in. Just press the link. I don't know it's on your phone and just jump in straight away, bro. Jump in, give you a shake. Wilder, you got in a media scrum, so you're in a media scrum, right? And you're trying to stand out. I've been in a media scrum, and the questions are coming from other people, and they're like, and you mind, you're like, these questions are whack. What can I do to stand up? So Radio Raheem, what did you mean by the comments? You know, what do you mean by the comments about our people, about your people? Wilder's like, what? Well, you know what I'm. Yo, man, we play the joint again, man. We play the video.
You said that your people have been fighting for 400 years.
And your people too.
So I just want you to explain what you mean by that.
You know what I'm talking about. Y'all all know what I'm talking about, man. Don't sit up here and try to bait. It's not know what I'm talking about. Y'all know that.
Yo, don't sit up here and try to bait, you know. Yeah, you try to erase bait. See, these are the things that shows he lost the plot. Nah, he lost the plot. AA, bro. He used the plot, man. Raheem is the one who started AA. Come on, man. How are the listen, bro? Like, listen. See, the thing is, yeah, you gotta look at what's going on, like, and what's it? Angel Garcia said the best. When it comes to boxing, yeah, there's physical, there's mental, and there's spiritual warfare. All three of them are battling. And what's happening with Fury Fury is easily maneuvering himself that if he was to lose, it wouldn't look that bad. It's not that bad. He ain't lost nothing. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. And Wilder sees what he's doing. He's like, nah, I had enough of that. Where's my fucking sympathy? Yeah, my people been oppressed as well. That's what this was about, because all through the build-up, Wilder even mentioned stuff like that. But he had enough. Had enough of this man. Had enough of this guy talking there, getting sympathy from the crowd, which he does. He's charismatic as Fury is. He's very persuasive. He's a likable guy. You know, he's a likable. Wilder's a likable guy as well. But Fury is very charismatic, and then at the same time he's belittling Wilder, patting him on the head. He wants to say like, yeah, you know, look at that guys. I beat a giants, legends. Look at you. Look at your resume. You're nothing. At the same time, look what the stuff I've been through, bro. That's too much, man. That's too much. That's too much. You know, you expect the man. The man's gonna snap. Yeah, and what Radio Raheem in there trying to Radio Raheem's guy. Listen, Wilder, of course, Wilder snapped on him. Let me play this joint again, bro. Play this joint. Rewind. Play this joint again. Our people, you know, come on.
You said that your people have been fighting for 400 years.
Your people too.
So I just want you to explain what you mean by that.
You know,
Radio Raheem goes, sir. I would like you to know what you mean by that, sir. So Radio Raheem is maybe he doesn't come from the same background Wilder does. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't want to understand. Maybe he doesn't understand, and maybe he doesn't see himself as coming from Wilder's people. You know, maybe not, man. Maybe he's Dominican. There's a lot of Dominicans, you know, who are dark skinned, and they don't claim to be black. So maybe Radio Ham's Dominican. You know, Dominican was Muslim. Could be one of them, bro. You know what I mean? Could be one of them. Let me play this.
What I'm talking about. Y'all all know what I'm talking about, man. Don't sit up here and try to bait and not know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what the fuck I talk about when I say these things. Your people too.
Explain it. Everybody knows what you're talking about.
Radio Raheem, I don't have to explain what's understood, man. You know what I mean by it.
You know what's making me laugh, right? Everyone around that area is quiet, bro. You ain't never listen, bro. When Wilder's career is over, this man could be a politician. You know what I mean? He can be a politician, whatever he wants to do, because when he talk, people do listen. Fury as well, man. These guys are charismatic guys, man. When they talk, people do listen. These are two men who have mouths on them, bro. They can talk. They can make you. Hey, listen. If you're not strong-minded, they'll get into your head. And Radio Raheem experienced it, and Gareth A. Davis. There's another video, if you check IFL, where Deontay Wilder was going at it, where he kind of letting Gareth A. Davis understand what was going on as well. He's leaving a message for Fury. He wasn't joking around, man. He ain't playing. Like, words are serious, you know. Like, let me play this straight.
You know what I say about it. I didn't gotta go further. And if anybody don't understand that, then God be with them. Go look up the history. Shit, don't everybody believe in Google? Go Google that shit. See what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, man. You know what I dare you to sit up there and say, explain. You know what I'm talking about, man.
And the thing is, you know the thing about Wilder, yeah, the stuff he's lost to play. He lost to play. The stuff he's experienced, right? Watch this, right? He went to England, so they say, what part of Britain? Ireland. Got chicken thrown at him, so they say, allegedly. Then he definitely got beer thrown on him. Right? That's a fact, yeah. And then, you know, from then point onwards, insults, build up. How much can you take, bro? Every time you see this man and the people around, just pure insults. Yeah, I mean, even though they like you, you know, you're cool with him because you're making a payday. But after a while, bro, I'll have to like you. Don't even have to respect you. I have to knock about you, bro. I'm trying to fight. Like, I'm in the gym with guys in the gym, right? They're doing sparring, and then they go in and touch. Why are you touching gloves for? This is warm. I know you sparring, but this is war mode, man. Like, you know, you need to have your game face, and, you know, let's bring it in, man. Let's go to war, and then go to war after the fight. Now, one of them's going to win, one's going to feel lost, yeah? But then after, you can be cool. But, bro, in the build-up, it's cool. But, bro, after this is a battle, or a spiritual warfare battle, and that's what's going on here. And Radio Raheem, all Radio Raheem is, what do you call it? Poke the bear. You know what I'm saying? Woke up the giant, fully dead, man. All fully woke. And that's what you saw with Wilder. I mean, lost the plot, but that's what you're dealing with. That's why it's a fight. That's what you're dealing with in the ring. This man here. And that man right there, you're looking at the bronze bomber, as he so cool calls himself, right? He's other side of himself. That's not the guy you want to be in there with. Radio Raheem.
He's fighting people. You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day. To this day. To this day.
I think, boy, on that statement right there, but you won't see some Nation of Islam and some people come out. They're gonna come out supporting, bro. I think Radio Raheem. No, I think the fight probably needed that boost. Maybe Radio Raheem is the Howard Cosell to Muhammad Ali, like Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder, Ray Cosell used to always ask them sort of questions Ali didn't like, and that's what it is. Wayne's gonna have to be big, yeah. Fences between, they ain't got no fences between each other, man. Frank Warren ain't got no fences. Frank Warren got caught up in the meeting. I don't think there's no fences. I think they understand that. Well, they ain't trying to hit no one. If they were gonna hit each other, they would have hit each other. They're just playing around. I think Fury might be taking it a bit more seriously because he was shocked the aggressiveness of Wilder. That surprised him. And you know what? I've seen that before. I've seen Chuck Liddell when he fought Rampage Jackson. And when in that fight he got knocked out. Rampage just before the fight scared the shit out of Chuck Liddell, man. He's a lot. Hey, listen, as a fighter, how can I put it? Okay, through your life, yeah, you've been absorbing not punishment, but you've been absorbing abuse, mental and physical, whichever one, both of them, maybe both of them, not sexual. I'm not going to mention sexual. There's mental and physical abuse from people saying things about you, the way you look, or people attacking you, trying to beat you up. Both of them, Fury and Wilder, right? And then, cultivating, putting it into a fighter and letting it out when you're in the ring. That's what you're doing, right? So you're absorbing, if you see like the X-Men, you're absorbing energy, absorbing anger, or absorbing like disrespect. Wilder absorbing a lot of it. If anything, Fury is probably being a pat on the back. Oh yeah, his story's so great, which he probably doesn't need. Because if Fury, he needs people, he needs to be kind of vilified. He needs people to say horrible things about him. That's when you bring the best out of Fury. Wilder should, what's up, Umar? Wilder should have backhanded Radio Raheem for asking that dumb question. No. Now, you don't do that. That's real ignorant. You don't want to do that. I know you'd like that, but it's good Radio Raheem said it because Radio Raheem, he'll ask him again some other questions. It's good. It helps sell the fight. So anyway, yeah, you absorb abuse, mentally and physical abuse, right? You absorb it, right? And then as a fighter, you absorb it. You absorb it's in your head, it's in your mind, and you use that. Go into the gym and you're hitting the bags and you're thinking about bang, bang. You're hitting the jabs. You're touching them up, blah, 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 blah. And then when your opponent's there, you're looking to knock them out. But after you've knocked them out and you've done the job, it comes out. That's it. It's been released out. What you see in Wilder is just that's all that build up of the disrespect, the Anthony Joshua situation. That went on for ages. This long disrespect between Eddie Hearn. And when he sees Fury, all that shit has come out. That's what you're seeing. Seeing all that anger, had enough, man. This guy getting sympathy. You feel that with us in the UK probably get easier deal. In a certain way. Radio Raheem is a hashtag LDBC. Nah, it's not no LDBC, bro. Ain't no LDBC. Let me see what we got here. Got here. Okay. Yeah, he ain't no LDBC. Radio Raheem is Radio Raheem. I met Radio Raheem loads of time. I see him all the time when I go to press conferences. You know what I mean? He's about what he's about. He people say it's corporate. Say corporate. Radio Raheem just fit. Radio Raheem fit. He's one of them guys. He's a guy. If you know him, he can be cheeky, quite brash. He says what he's on his mind, and that's it. He does it as about what he's about, bro. He's just about what he's about. Leave him the fuck alone. And I've been around him when certain people wouldn't even get the interviews. He's quite aggressively in there. He's an aggressive interviewer, and he's very good at getting the best interviews out of people. And look, you remember now again, I mentioned it again. He was in a media scrum with, if you look at it, there's 10 other media outlets, 10 other digital media outlets. How can you stand out them over? When you try to be kind, try to say nice things, or you want to go straight for the gusto and say, bro, what do you mean about the people? Even though he knows that even though you know Wilder's looking at what do you mean? That got Wilder's attention as you seen, and that's what you saw. Let's go play it again.
You said that your people have been fighting for 400 years.
And your people too.
So I just want you to explain what you mean by that.
You know what I'm talking about. Y'all all know what I'm talking about, man. Don't sit up here and try to bait and not know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what the fuck I talk about when I say these things. Your people too.
Explain it. Everybody knows what you're talking about.
Radio Raheem, I don't have to explain what's understood, man. You know what I mean by that. You know what I said by that. I didn't gotta go further. And if anybody don't understand that, then God be with them. Go look up the history. Go look up the history. Shit, don't everybody believe in Google? Go Google that shit. See what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, man. You know what I dare you to sit up there and say, explain. You know what I'm talking about, man. It's fighting people. You know we've been fighting for and still fighting to this day. To this day. To this day.
Oh shit, it's funny, man. You have to laugh, man. This shit to this day. To this day. Yo, what you saying? Okay. Tony, yo, I have a sympathy for Fury's mental health. Why? Angle that Showtime is selling, yeah. People are hiding behind the buzzwords, yeah. Listen, bro, listen. This is not the place to get your cure. And if it is, Wilder gonna baptize you like he said the first time. This is not the sort of place to go get healed from your mental illness, bro. Or maybe it is. Wilder's gonna knock him straight out of that mental depression, waking his ass up when he gets that money in the morning. Oh shit, how much money did I get? Listen, that's the place, because you out here in a fight, right? And you mentioned the stuff you're going through. Oh yeah, well done. But this is it's sort of facade, man. It's trying to soften people at the same time. Pat Wilder on the head and make Wilder seem like he's not dangerous. He's no one. That's what Wilder's had enough, man. He had enough, and you know what? If you think he's wild, what's AA say? He lost the plot, and you think he's crazy. Good, because that's what you're gonna get come fight night. Good, right? Good, because he had enough of trying to be cool and all the disrespect. Now, and let's go back to the disrespect. Let's tell him how much and this all goes about absorbing the bullshit. He been disrespect from Billy Joe Saunders, even though they're cool, but the disrespect's still there. He been disrespect by commentating. He been disrespect by Mike Tyson recently. Big Baby Miller made a comment just today on Twitter. I mean, how much disrespect can this man take? And he reads all of it, you know. He like Mr. T sitting down on Rocky 3. He reads all of that shit, absorbs all of it, and come fight night, there you is. That's why Winston Van went down. He was pissed off. He was like Ali. When Ali knocked out Liston in the second fight, he was over him. He wanted him to get up, man. You pussy, get the Fury. Hey, you know what? Fury first punch getting hit by Wilder, he crashes the canvas, and he'll probably be okay, but he just don't want to get up. He's like, man, I'll stay right here. Wilder's gonna lose the plot. Don't be surprised if Wilder knocks out the referee, knocks out the fucking MC, and knocks out the freaking ring card girls. Don't be surprised he annihilates the whole arena and jumps into the crowd and fucking starts throwing people up in the air and shit because he's so pissed off trying to get his anger out, bro. Because the man is angry. The man wants blood. All right, we said Austin GT. The things about Wilder is we know his killer would be killed. Exactly. If Wilder gets behind on points, he's gonna throw the kitchen sink and get KO. Yeah, he'll be behind on if the fight ever goes that far. He'll be behind on points. I ain't even looking. The fight gonna be that long, bro. I ain't gonna look him because see Fury. You have to understand, yeah. The man ain't never faced no one who wants to fight, and he ain't never faced. How many guys he faced other than Vladimir who are even nearer to his height? You know what I'm saying? And Vladimir, the nearest guy to his height, he's on his bicycle, but he ain't got them legs like he had before, bro. He ain't got them legs like. If you look at them two fight, all them dudes hit him, and he couldn't hurt none of them. He had power. His turn to flower. Why you thinking, man? I heard his uncle took money off him. Stole money from. That's why they're no longer together or something like that. But his uncle ain't with him because his uncle see that he ain't got it no more. You know what I mean? Because maybe he's full of all that powder. You know what I mean? When Wilder hits him, all that powder's gonna come out of his ear. You know what I'm saying? All that talcum powder. You know what I'm saying? It might just come out of his ear, leak out and stuff like that. But let me ask a question, user. You feel with Wilder win, he gonna get that credibility? They gonna give him that? They gonna give him the props? Are they gonna give him if you gonna give Wilder the respect he deserves? Because I sure am. I gave him the beat when he beat Stavern. The only man to ever go the distance. He went back in there and knocked them out. No one's gonna distance with him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what this is about. I think Wilder. You know the funny thing about a fighter, when the moment the fighter starts getting respect, then he'll start ease up. The more you start keeping digging into Wilder, the more you can't pissing him off and not giving him respect, the more he's fueling the man. The more you, all you're doing is fueling him. Fury needs that as well. That's what another thing as well with Fury. He's not getting enough dig-ins, man. If anything, people are patting him on the back. Now, that's probably not good for Fury. That's probably not a good look for Fury. He needs to feel like he's feeling at home in America. I mean, you walk around trying to say who is Wilder. How about Wilder walk around and say who is Fury? How about that? How about we do that? So you think Fury might maybe cashing out himself, yeah? Before, yeah, he could be cashing. You don't need to, yeah, man. Like that stuff he been. Hell yeah, he cashing out. Yo, Austin GT. EJ, do you think AJ should be fighting face with the winner? Yeah, AJ should be fighting the winner. AJ should be wanting to fight the winner. AJ, listen, one of these. The thing is, losing is not a bad thing, right? Because it's always how you come back. Charles Martin fought the other day, he lost, right? The thing is, yeah, is that one of these guys have to get knocked off. Parker got knocked off finally, right? Now Fury's the next one, right? This is people need to. Look, AJ and Wilder have wiped everyone out. Povetkin's been wiped out. Ortiz has been wiped out. There is no one left. All roads lead to AJ and Wilder. That is it. That is it. All Fury. So I'm not discounting right now. All Fury. All roads lead to these three men, right? And then as a state of it, who's been professional and who's been keeping it? Wilder and AJ, they've been keeping it professional. They've been handling it well. So Fury has to come out of his game to go do that. You know, he's gonna have to bring the A game. Is he good? Is American audience gonna respect him for moving? They're gonna listen. You know, it's funny, right? If Wilder was to move around like that, right? They were saying he's a runner, he's a ducker. But when the black man does, when the white guy, he's genius, he's smart. You know, these quotes have been happening for years when it comes to black fighters. When they move around, oh, he's a runner, he's a chicken, right? White guy does it. Willie Pep and some other guys. Oh man, he's so smart. Look how he uses the ring. Look how he looks artistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Wilder in effect, yeah, is fighting for more than what you think it is. Fury doesn't want the criticism. I mean, Fury and Wilder have a lot in common. They have a lot in common in terms of their background of not getting the credit they deserve, right? But Fury, in this point right now, he's probably getting all the pats on the back, man. He's getting all the trappings, all the pats on the back. The doors are open in America. I'm sure he feels like a superstar. Why don't feel like that? Because Wilder's home is not LA, man. He don't feel like that. Wilder feels like he's in a home in a foreign place, bro. I'm telling you. And that's the way he's acting this soon. I don't think he's been treated, you know, I don't think they're treating him any good. Like, you know what I'm saying? And Fury rubbed it in by walking around the streets saying, you know who Wilder is? And Wilder saw that this guy is not even come to another man's country and he's trying to embarrass him. Yeah, that's what he's doing. That's what Fury's doing. He's embarrassing him. I'm gonna give Wilder full credit if he wins. Good man, Austin GT. Yeah, because Fury wins, he'll get the full credit. Exactly. That's what's up right there. You have to. That's what it is. Whether you dislike someone, you have to say, "Yo, this guy get credit," but you know what it is. And Fury's saying it up. If you hear his words, really listen to what Fury's saying. He's saying it up that if he was to lose, when he talked to Vladimir, he weren't talking nothing about losing. In fact, let me think about Fury. Think about Fury when he fought Glad and the way his body language was. He was acting exactly the same as Wilder. Exactly the same as the feeling like saying, and Vladimir was like, whoa, whatever. Vladimir, they were saying Vladimir was cool. Remember, they was Fury with the Fury looked like he was losing the plot out there, bro. And Vladimir was like, yeah, man, I like it. See, this is why I brought him over here, right? But Vladimir didn't know that his reign was gonna be coming to an end that night there. Wilder, listen, there's no, listen, the linear belt or the Ring Magazine belt gonna be there waiting for Wilder. When Wilder gets that, Wilder can take a nice brief and know that he's got linear. AJ on the other hand over there be like, boy, okay, but I'm still making the most money. I have more belts than you, and I still have the whole of my whole country. Wilder, as of yet, he's trying to get the whole. This is Wilder trying to get the whole country behind him. He has a segment of people behind him, of the population, i.e. African Americans. I'm not sure everyone African Americans. Low Place will tell you something different. He's from down south, and he ain't rolling with bloody Deontay Wilder. His videos, he ain't rolling with Deontay Wilder. Nothing. Wilder. In fact, Low Place was saying if he was interviewing Deontay Wilder and Wilder said to him, he said he'll knock Wilder out or he'll try and grab something. Boy, well, everyone says that stuff. Anyway, let's hear from Wilder again, man.
You said that your people have been fighting for 400 years.
And your people too.
Your people.
Sir, I just want you to explain what you mean by that.
You know what I'm talking about.
I don't think Wilder needs to understand it. Wilder, Radio Raheem ain't your people, Wilder, man. There's no way. Listen, man. You know way the Radio Raheem could handle your set. So what Radio Raheem would be. You think Radio Raheem is being authentic there? You think about it. I know they're black, but Radio Raheem could fit into Wilder's set, man. Could roll with Wilder. Yeah, let's look at Radio Raheem hanging out with Deontay Wilder. Yeah, Deontay, where are we going tonight? Are we going to check some girls? You see Wilder, yo, shut the right, cornball. They'd be like, yo, Wilder, man, who's that cornball back in the corner? Oh, that's Radio Raheem. He cool. Nah, man, he's a cornball, man. See what I'm saying? So, in effect, Radio Raheem is being honest about what people, He chatting, but he knows he's talking about black people. But Radio Raheem ain't part of Wilder's set, man. If they was in Africa, they wouldn't be from the same part of tribes. I'm telling you.
You said that your people have been fighting for 400 years.
And your people too.
So I just want you to explain what you mean by that.
You know what I'm talking about. Y'all all know what I'm talking about, man. Don't sit up here and try to bait. It's not know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what the fuck I talk about when I say these things. Your people too.
Explain it. Everybody knows what you're talking about.
Radio Raheem, I don't have to explain what's understood, man. You know what I mean by that. You know what I say about that. I didn't gotta go further. And if anybody don't understand that, then God be with them. Go look up the history. Go look up the history. Shit, don't everybody believe in Google? Go Google that shit. See what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, man. You know what I dare you to sit up there and say, explain. You know what I'm talking about, man. It's fighting people. You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day.
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 To this day. We still fighting. And you know what's funny thing? Wilder look like he gonna slap him. Wilder actually genuinely look like he gonna slap him. He gonna slap Radio Raheem. Radio Raheem. Hey, Radio does boxing tonight. Like I don't think Radio's scared. Radio's like him. But you know what's funny, right? Radio Raheem in the second interview, Radio was like, he just asked some real abstract question to Wilder. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Because Radio Raheem in effect was trying to make out like Wilder, even though, listen, like Radio Raheem uses all these big words, but Wilder ain't trying to fall for that shit. Just be straight, bro. Mean what you mean. Say what you mean. Speak your truth. Well, you know that Radio Raheem trying to play games, man. Wilder ain't playing no games out here, bro. He ain't playing no game. You got the wrong guy at the wrong time. Okay, foul player. Radio Raheem was crap. Yeah, he was crap. Yeah. Austin GT. In the way I think Fury's pointing out the people in LA don't know will give Wilder extra motivation for the fight. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But I just don't know if they're doing a really good job of promoting the fight in LA. I mean, the fight's in the Staples Center. How good is the promotional doing? I mean, people might see that all over LA. That might help with the promotion. It might help with the promotion, man. It might help with the promotion, that little clip right there. That's because there was a thing where Wilder was talking about, he said he wouldn't mind having a baby. Like, for his wife as well. Just feel what it's like for a man to have a baby. Like to have a baby, so they say he was giving props to women, how women are strong, they bleed for like seven days, and then obviously they walk around with a baby for 9 months, and he was giving props because I want to feel what it's like, so I can understand women more. That's what he said. I was like, bro, why though? You don't need to understand women any more than he is, bro. But that's what he was saying. Like he was saying, I want to know what it's like to understand women, but my whole thing is like, bro, you know what I'm saying? That was hard to listen to, but I didn't really take it as anyway. A lot of people took it, and Ramovich tried to use that as a thing, but it's not really trending. But this comment here with Radio Raheem in front of the media outlets, bro, it's trending. And people say it's as a race war, but let's talk about race. When we talk about running the track like Jesse Owens, or we're talking about like racing in general, everyone's a part of the human so-called race. Like we're all humans, right? There's no. If you look, if an alien wants to come down, he wouldn't say you're from this race, you're from that race. It's that you're all humans. You all gonna get that work. We all got fingers. We all got the same fingers, or some of us anyway. We all got 2 arms, some of us anyway. 2 legs, some of us anyway, or not. Or I tell you, we all have hearts. We all have lungs. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some of us have 2 eyes. Maybe some have 1 eye. But we're all humans, right? We're not cats or dogs, monkeys, anything, right? We're all human. So different humans with different skin tones. but we're all human. And end of the day, it's like making it seem like another race. That's like another race of being like on the alien race or a dog race or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like as humans, and we all from the part we from the earth we in, like the sunny climate or the cold climate, according to that the area where you were born or the land mass you was being, you eat differently, you talk differently, and that's the way it is. But we're all human. But you could, I guaranteed, if I was to see someone from another continent, right, with another background, and we was just in the world by ourselves, right? Let's say this person was okay, maybe Polish or from Russia or whatever, and we didn't understand each other. Gary, we don't need to talk. Hell no, we didn't talk. Look at me. I learned to put my fingers on my mouth. I'm hungry. Food. You know what I'm saying? I want to eat, bro. They go, yeah, yeah. What about when I'm cold? I can use my arms, right? He don't know what I'm talking about. He know what I'm talking about. He know what I'm talking about. What about when it comes to women? Or you know what I'm saying? Like there's other ways of communication without actually speaking the dialect of the native tongue, right? And other than that, yeah, you know you're human. Like when I'm sure when Americans or the people, so-called Europeans or whoever came over to the Americas, they before they could speak their native tongue, they communicated. They knew what time it is because they're human. They're human, bro. And what happens is people try to dehumanize other humans and say they're superior over other humans, and then all of a sudden say they're a different race because they're not the same as me. Yo, that's some bullshit. That is some bullshit. But Wilder needs to understand when even saying that Radio Raheem is not from your set, bro. You may have the same skin tone, but Radio Raheem is from a different tribe, bro. He's from a different tribe, and I think even in certain like even in Russia, even though they use the Soviet Union, you have Ukraine, you have all them other countries. But they all come kind of on the same umbrella. They're like cousins, but they all think differently, man. They all think differently, like everyone. And in fact, no two humans are the same. But to paintbrush everyone, well, Wilder, man, Wilder, listen, bro. So, hey, that's what it is, man. What's it? Future Past TV. I pray Wilder don't hurt Fury too bad. Why, man? That's the job, man. Aztec 101. Very good point on tribes. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? You should know from the Aztec tribes, bro. From the Aztec tribes, all the different tribes in the Americas, man. They ain't the same as each other. The Hawaiian tribe, we ain't the same. Shit, we ain't the same. I know. And even in the same village, you got different villages. And then you know what I'm saying? No two humans are the same, bro. Like so the whole concept of race in general in terms of that's someone else told you and you believed it. But the really matter is that if someone came from another planet and they was coming to exterminate, bro, they ain't thinking about color. They're just looking at these people. They're looking at these people with the 2 legs and the 2 arms, and they're gonna get that work, bro. Zap, zap, zap. Everyone's getting that work. Everyone's getting that work. And at that point, you know what happened in it? All the so-called different races, they will bomb together. The so-called KKK and all the hard right, anything. They all bomb together because they're trying to save their life from these aliens. You know what I'm saying? So. Oh, well, we know who you are now. So it's just all it is that certain people want to be on top of other, try and be on top and trying to oppress other people. But even in the oppression of other people, you have to keep sleep with one eye open. I'm sure them people, the oppressors who are oppressing people, you think you slept in your bed comfortably if you did that because you know you must be paranoid, thinking that other people gonna uprise you and cut your throat because that's what probably will happen. What's up, World Breaker? 101. I don't identify by race. I identify by tribe or culture. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, bro. World Breaker. What's your email, bro? I want to get Yo, sorry about that, man. World breaker, where we at? World breaker, world breaker. Yeah, we've got your email. Yeah. Yo, the link's in the chat, man. I'm gonna put the link in the chat again. You put the link in the chat. It should work anyway. You put it. Yeah, I disconnected. Yeah. I'm all right now, man. I'm back here. There you go. Aztec 101. You can jump in if you want. Yo, disconnected. Yeah. My computer's playing. I got a new computer here right now, and like me and my brother gonna sort it out. So my computer, it's been bugging playing up for a minute, bro. Been playing up for a minute. So yeah, where was I now? I was in a fire in it. I was talking about so-called racism. Okay, well break. Oh, cool. Let me add you in. Dog. Let me add you in. Oh man. Yeah, so-called racist. I don't fucking man, I listen to stuff, especially we're in the age of knowledge. We've always been an age of knowledge, right? Through the internet, right? So you can just look at stuff and understand, yeah.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, that is the cutest thing.
Hello?
Yo, sorry about that, man. My computer's playing up like a bitch, man. I don't know what's going on. Every minute the damn thing freezing up. When I'm doing hangouts, it's playing, bugging. Yeah, so World Breaker Fire, I'll put your email in, so you should be able to jump in when you're ready, man. Yeah, I don't really subscribe to that bullshit, man. But see, the thing is, yeah, if you go by tribes, man, Nigeria, his background is Nigerian, Joshua's background is Nigerian, but you can see that different kind of Nigerians, man. The different kind of Nigerians or different kind of, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what it is. All right, so there you go. I'm back in. All right, so yeah, different kind of tribes, man. Your land, man, and you know your tribe is your name and stuff like that. You know, in Scotland they still do tribes and stuff like that. Yeah, World Breaker Fire, you in, man. I'll put your my girl's Nigerian. Your girl's Nigerian. See it there? That's what I'm saying, man. We're all humans, man. We're all humans, bro. But I can't be saying that to everyone, trying to say everyone's world peace when someone's trying to whoop me. When someone's trying to whoop my ass, bro. You know what I'm saying? When someone's trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna tell our blood in the crib. Yo, we're all humans, man. Because they've been trained. You know, humans, we're actually from born in our DNA. We're trained to attack. Like, you have, even in the football, you have Tottenham and Arsenal, right? And you have different groups. They're trained to attack from young. So, you know, humans, especially men as well, it's just the way we are, man. We're trained to attack from young. We have that warrior instinct. That's why it's boxing. That's why there's a competitive sports to get stuff out of us, yeah. And you know, trying to think. Well, Breaker, I received your link, but I want you to come on the show, but that's why I needed your email. Oh, okay. I got you. Oh, what's up? You back? You in?
I'm here.
Yo, what's up, bro? I was into your show the other day, actually, with Low Place the other day, and your guy, I think Khaled Enigma. It was interesting, man. It was a really good show because, you know what I mean, the way you control it and respect, you know, Low Place gonna burn. And even though the guy was saying, Enigma was saying stuff that Low Place didn't hear, you know, you want to let the guy burn and this conduct yourself civilized, you know. It was good. It was good to listen to you. It was good. It was good. How you doing anyway? What's your take on this stuff, man?
Well, I did a video at 1:30. You talking about the Radio Raheem situation?
Radio Raheem predictions, everything, because I'm kind of covering everything because it's all amalgamated into everything because I could just cover Radio Raheem, but that's.
Well, I answered the Radio Raheem thing. I think it's indicative of a society where people have been regulated to minimalization, and that people like Radio Raheem try to assert themselves in a fashion that is just not conducive to damn, I got like, okay, hold up a second. Yeah. They conduct themselves in a way to separate themselves from the struggle. And given the times going on in the US right now, the murder rate is increasing. The murder rate is increasing for black males again. There's just a lot of bad juju going on. It was the wrong time to ask the stupid ass question. Is really what it was, in my opinion.
The thing is, right? Let me. So I'm gonna put you in. I'm gonna put you in the scenario, right? Because I do see. I meet Radio Raheem a lot of times when he comes here, right? I see him all the time. I go to the media all the time. He's putting the press conference is just finished, right? Wilder's very heated. Fury's very heated. Fury's got his shirt off, whatever. You have all the main digital media. So you have like 7 of them, 8 of them, 9 of them, all around the area. Any setback. I know Deontay's Nation. I don't know if he was there, whatever. All of them, right? What is gonna make you stand out? What is gonna get your attention? What is gonna get the attention of the champ?
I comprehend what you're saying, but that's the kind of question. It looked like he's gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, but that's what you want. That's what you want. If you're a journalist at that point and you're trying to, you not as a cultural, not see yourself on a cultural level, because again, Radio Raheem, he travels to different countries, right? He's always around the world. He probably doesn't live even live in America, right? He knows what it is, but how you gonna get the champion's attention and hold it? That's what he did. I don't agree with what he said, but that's what he did. He did that because you take the circumstances in it, and then when he got it, he holded the champion's attention.
Well, I know a lot of people on my side feel a certain way about Radio Raheem that's not positive. I know that I addressed it on my show today. So, my thing is this. I know, being a part of the LDBC, I have tried to let people know I like Tyson Fury repeatedly. Never talk about race. I never talk about race, at least when it comes to Tyson Fury. But when you emphasize these things in certain scenarios, it's going to be amplified, especially in a sport of boxing where racism seems to be one of the key points to making a great fight. So it's a historical thing. It's just not me saying. Historically, it's been this way. I understand what you're saying, and I saw that possibility when it happened. But at the same time, like, how much risk is enough risk? To ask that inciting question. And I'm like, sometimes.
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead. I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
You're good. Sometimes it's just not worth it. But this is what I also saw. You asked a guy that was already in war mode a question like that, you might have graduated him to level 3. And so Deontay Wilder looks hyper focused. I've seen his press conferences before. I've seen a lot of people's press conferences before. Guy looks hyper focused. And I think for him, it's more he wants to prove a point so bad. I can't describe because I'm not in his head. But I really, truly think this guy really wants to make a point. And we'll see what happens Saturday. Not only my gut feeling, but my years of understanding the sport of boxing, all the thousands of hours of boxing matches I've watched in my life, I just see him prevailing. And that's not even including the 3-year layoff for Tyson Fury, the abuse to his body that he took, and the 7 title defenses that Deontay Wilder has. If people, and I used this analogy earlier, a lot of people. Oh, you left. Oh, that's another. Okay, I'm sorry. That was another.
Yeah, I know, because when it cuts out, I went on my phone, but while my computer's charging up. So go ahead. Yeah,
but I use this analogy. When Michael Jordan left the game after his father passed away, he went and played AAA baseball for a couple of years, basically a season and a half. After that season and a half, He came back, and it took him about a year to acclimate. Michael Jordan didn't look like Michael Jordan. This is when he wore the number 45. Okay, if one of the greatest athletes in history, and a lot of people will say in a consensus that Michael Jordan is one of the greatest athletes in history, if it took him a year to acclimate, what would it take Tyson Fury to acclimate? And I've been saying this since this fight was made. I think Tyson Fury needed 4 or 5 fights to be ready for Deontay Wilder. And I've stood on that. I haven't changed. And I even said, even with 4 or 5 fights, I still think Deontay Wilder beats him. There was a fight I just watched again. Nikolai Fervra. I'm sorry, my son's running around my game room. Nikolai Fervra or something like that caught Fury with a series of right hands, hurt him, stumbled him. Mm-hmm. Those right hands were very slow. Those right hands didn't come from a very athletic guy. It basically came from a tub of lard, who was a domestic fighter.
Yeah,
and Tyson Fury almost dropped. Mm-hmm. You know, I think a right hand and a series of hard left jabs coming from a guy that's basically your height with your reach, with that type of speed, at that type of weight, with his ability to move, who's consistently been fighting while you've been binging and drinking, that's going to take a toll. And people don't want to hear that because they have their picks. And I understand that. You know, you believe in your guy. If you're in the UK, you believe in your guy if you're American. But I put all that bullshit to the side and I look at it for what it is. I see a guy that's been consistent. I see a guy in Tyson Fury who beat a champion, but he never defended belts. So he doesn't have his championship experience comes from one moment, one time. Deontay Wilder has 8 moments like that under his belt going into his 9th. He's going into his 8th title defense. Mm-hmm. I mean, people try to discredit Wilder without realizing Wilder has gotten better and better and better despite anything. And I also made an analogy. There was a guy that took up boxing at 18, just like Deontay Wilder. He was going through a work program because he was a criminal. And within 2 years, he was in the Olympics and he won gold. That was George Foreman, 1968. Mm-hmm. Okay? And people don't get it. If you go look at George Foreman, what does George Foreman do better than Deontay Wilder from a fundamental standpoint?
He does a lot of things. He got bad. He's pretty good, George Foreman. Chin, jab,
I'm not saying that George wasn't good. I'm not saying that George wasn't good, but from the eye test perspective, George is not a pretty fighter. Mm-hmm. And that's the point I'm trying to make. George was winning off of athleticism and power. In a lot of cases, and he developed more skill as he elevated. That's what I've been seeing from Deontay Wilder, because I'm the first person to say I didn't really jump on the Deontay Wilder thing until about fight 30, man. Because I had to concede to myself, this dude knocks people out. Because I didn't like the way he looked. I'm like, man, this dude's trash. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. But I'm a logical person. When I see a guy he's constantly beating people, and he's beating them one type of way, hey, that's something to that secret sauce. Okay, all right, let's go watch. But that's how I see it, bro. I mean, this guy beat the boogeyman last fight. Nobody's trying to fight the boogeyman but him. So
yeah.
Go on. You just gotta get. I mean, I look at things for what they are, not for what I want them to be. Mm-hmm. So.
No, I hear everything you said is good. You know, the thing is, the analogy with the Michael Jordan thing, the only thing I say is the heavyweight division. And you're right about Michael didn't do well in the first time. They got to the playoffs and then they got knocked out by Orlando, right? But the thing is, in the heavyweight division in boxing, it's in that respect, yeah, you dudes can come in, especially because of the heavyweight division, and because Fury understands that if I get Wilder angry. And Mark Breland said the same thing. He can get in Wilder's head, make Wilder come in, and that's how. And when Alex Lewis said the same thing, that's how you can double the impact of the punches. So if a guy's coming at you and trying to throw his punch, and you catch him before he catches you, the punch it's like a car crash crashing together, and the impact will devastate and could knock him out. Now, Wilder's proven they can be hurt by punches, and so is Fury. They've both been hurt by punches. It's still a kind of fight that, boy, if a guy lands the right kind of punch on each other, they can hurt each other. And like, right, even though Fury's still not 100% like what you're saying, I agree with John what you said. He still has the ability to that, because his resume said that he's beat Vladimir, right? He beat Vladimir, which Wilder yet has to be with outside opposition. As you pointed out, Wilder's been busy. He's been fighting, but not as at the same level of caliber. And if you're talking about IQ or brain power or smart, most people will say that Fury maybe has the more IQ than him. But I say this. Wilder, they might say that. They might say, but he ain't got Mark Brilliant in his corner. Ain't no one got Mark Brilliant in their corner. And no one's resume can trump Mark Brilliant's resume in terms of knowledge they have over in the other corner. Mark Brilliant's been around Manuel Stewart. He's been around Bill Miller. He's been around all them dudes there. All them great, and he has all that knowledge. Plus, on top of that, he's the same tall guy. He's the same kind of lengthy, tall guy that Wilder was, right? And his amateur career is second to none. So all that knowledge he has, he helped pass to Wilder and helped Wilder in Wilder's journey. He said that Wilder needs to be calm and know what he's doing. He doesn't like Wilder getting angry, but he understands this is to sell the fight. And I go back to this. I actually thought initially for a second that Wilder and Radio Raheem, right, might have planned it. And I said, nah, I don't think they would, because Wilder, I've talked to Wilder before. Wilder's very authentic. You know, what he says is what he means, and he doesn't joke around. So going back to that, so Wilder's authentic, but they understand, that the tickets weren't doing that good, so they're gonna have to sell tickets, man. And at the end of the day, they're both.
Ticket sales as of today was 17.
They're both not from Los Angeles, so they're gonna have to do a job of selling the tickets. But I think that's good. We sold that. That's good. I think this in anything helped sell the tickets. It helped get a certain. Even Wilder's what's your take on Wilder's comment about the pregnancy? What's your take on Wilder said he wouldn't mind having a baby?
Initially, someone in my chat room stated that, and I almost took their wrench. I'm like, this is some BS. And then they explained it to me. Blue Blood was in the chat, and I sent him a link. He explained in the way he did it. I've never thought Wilder was very good at conveying his thoughts correctly. After Blue Blood explained it, I'm like, all right, listen, everybody thinks differently. I don't take it where he was going one way or the other. He just appreciated his wife's experience. Go downstairs, son. But anyway, I didn't, after that moment, I didn't really think of anything of it after the fact. But one thing I wanted to point out while you were talking, it popped up in my head. If you take Fury's last 10 fights and Deontay Wilder's last 10 fights, the combined loss record for their respective opponents, Fury is 36 losses, Deontay Wilder's 29. Okay. When you take one away, which for Fury, if you take one away, I think the last one had 6 losses. So you get Fury at 30 losses. You take away one of the losses.
That's a good point.
You take away one of the losses from Deontay Wilder, he drops to 14. I'm talking about their highest total. I'm talking about the opponent with the highest number of losses that they've had. It's actually 7 for Fury, so it's 29. But you take the highest losses on Deontay Wilder's record, it drops to 14. So their 9 opponents, out of their 9 opponents, Tyson Fury's opponents have 29 losses. Deontay Wilder's has 14.
Mm-hmm.
And so their last 10 fights, Tyson Fury's last 10 fights cover a 3-year span, or 5-year span, actually. A 5-year span. Deontay Wilder's covers the last 3. His last 10 fights, I think the last 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And again, level of opposition. You got Chris Arreola. You got Spilka, who is a relative unknown. You have Luis Ortiz. You have a lot of different characters that are graduations of. You can even consider Gerald Washington, who I didn't rate very high, was undefeated. So it's not about who is undefeated. It's quality opposition. Tyson Fury fought an old Vladimir Klitschko, and people want to gloss over that fact. They were talking about Vladimir Klitschko being a guy who, when he fought Brandon Jennings, was slowing down. Brian Jennings looked good against Vladimir Klitschko. You know, if Jennings was a bigger guy, he would have beat Klitschko, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't a bigger guy. But again, I think people have oversold the career of Vladimir Klitschko for so long, and not looked at the body of work. They look at records, and they don't look at the body of work. Mm-hmm. The people that he's been dropped and knocked out by are pathetic. So this is the thing. We'll see what happens Saturday. And it's like this. I used to run numbers and take bets when I was a teenager. I used to be a handicapper for a little while. I'm really good at breaking down stuff and analyzing so I can make money. I don't see it happening. That's why I presented these things the way the way they are, because what I look at when I look at facts, I look at one guy that's been consistently fighting and consistently growing as a fighter, and another guy that's been off for about 3 years.
Absolutely.
When it's all said and done.
100% what you said there is right and exact. Wilder said it, Fury said it himself. He said his biggest thing, what he wanted to do was to beat Vladimir, and he said he was looking to retire after that. This is his words now, yeah? And he said the only reason he's came back is because basically, I think maybe he needs some money for his addiction, maybe, or maybe it's a case of when that 50 mil was offered to AJ and they didn't take it, Frank Warren. And this is when I asked Frank Warren directly, you know. This is where, I'm in the media. I asked Frank Warren myself. I said to him, so did you take that 50 mil? He said to me, I'm not talking about the money situation. Now, I was talking to Nez, because I work with the boxing boys, right? And then Nez, you asked him, he said, Shelly Finkel and them, they're not trying to talk about the money. I said, okay. So the 50 mil that they had, I'm sure Fury and them people and Frank would have said, we'll take that. If they don't win it, we'll take it. And therein lies why this fight is happening, right? And then the whole thing is that, remember, they're trying to build you up. So what if let's look at Fury's first fight. So he kissed the guy on the lips, right? The fight that started, he kissed the guy on the lips, kissed the guy over, he was smooching. That's what we use, the word we use over here, smooching, kissing, lips in, whatever. The first guy, and he looked crap. Second fight in, The second fight in, he didn't look too good. You know what I'm saying? He was doing what he used to do when he was younger. But this man, let's talk about adjustments. Everyone knows as you get older, even though he's still in his 20s, no, he's in his 30s. He's 30 now, right? Mm-hmm. As you get older, you're supposed to adjust. He's still trying to say he's going to do the same thing he did when he was 25, 26. You ain't that taper. You ain't that guy no more. Ali was never saved the guy after the layoff, right? He wasn't the same guy. Right? You couldn't do the legs walk no more. So Ali
didn't abuse his body.
Exactly, he didn't abuse his body. Exactly, Ali didn't do nothing. Ali was doing talks. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the oppression and all the stuff that was going on, the civil rights and everything was going there. So he was actively in that, right? So my whole thing with Fury, right? Fury drugs, taking this, taking that, bans, this, that, the other. He's come back solely for the money. 100% when you said about the professionalism of Fury and the levels of guys he's beat. This is the first guy he's faced who's only an inch shorter than him, 2 inches reach difference, which is not that much, yeah. And definitely Steve Cunningham could touch him up. Steve Cunningham, how he touched him up is when he touched him to the body. He used his jab up and down, and then he tricked Tyson and went over. But Tyson had no respect for him, right? So when Tyson has a respect for his opponent, he likes to be on the back foot. But that ain't gonna save you against Wilder. You know, Wilder don't care.
Most of his knockouts are on the ropes or in the corner.
Anything, it don't matter if you're outpointing him. He been down on point. Another thing about fighters is adversity. You know, Fury's always used to winning points. He's used to being up on the scorecard. In fact, he's used to winning every second of every round. So let's put Fury in a situation where he's not winning every second of every round. How much adversity has he actually been through in his career? So no, Wilder been through adversity, some real hard adversity. And that's what you mean by growing. Exactly what you mean by growing. So in this retrospect, right, coming into the fight, this is why a lot of people are favoring him. And that's why and there's no disputing. Everyone has him as the underdog. We already know that. But the underlying thing is that is, and this is the point I'm gonna say to you, is that Will Fury gets credit, right, from the people, and I say, and this is myself, even though it's a rhetorical question to me, to you, I'm asking. I feel not, and it's a case of Wilder's setting it up for. He knows that even if he beats this guy and beats him convincingly, they're gonna disrespect him. But if Fury goes a couple of rounds, makes one silly, they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, Wilder ain't that good." So the narrative is by Fury. The narrative by Fury is all being set up to say that even if I lose, I'm still gonna be better than you. So what's your take?
My take on that is Wilder's in a lose-lose situation no matter what happens. If he wins, people make the excuse, well, Tyson Fury wasn't ready, came back too soon. If he wins, Tyson Fury was easy. Tyson Fury wasn't the Tyson Fury of old. There's no winning this situation for Wilder. But that's how I look at it. If Tyson Fury wins, I give him all the credit because he would have done what far more athletic people would have not been able to do. He would have done things that people that I've seen shells of themselves not do. And that's just how I see it. Based on and that's why I say things factually and not my gut feelings. I'm basing it off of analysis. Based off of what I've seen, I don't see that in him. He might surprise me, but I'll even go subjectively. Looking at that entire press conference, it's really truly the tale of two cities. You're looking at one guy who's fucking dead serious, bro. You look at one guy that is dead serious. There is no shake in his game. And then you got another guy that's being whimsical, comical, doesn't seem completely self-assured. And initially when I was watching the press conference, maybe I'm judging this the wrong way. But then when I saw the face-off, that's when I saw it. That's when I confirmed it. He's not ready, man. I'm just, and that's the subjective part. But this is me being almost 40 years old and knowing what a man looks like when he's scared shitless, when he's not ready for something. Yeah, I saw it, and people may read, "Oh, you're just reading." I'm not reading it. I just know what I know because I've been in it. I've been in the thick of things. I saw one guy who is ready to murder somebody. And I saw another guy who just realized this guy is ready to murder somebody. And he doesn't know what to do about it. Deontay Wilder actually poked Tyson Fury in the eye. It was accidental because I think Fury was moving his head. They were all up in each other's mouth. And Frank Warren touched Deontay Wilder. Wilder said something. Marcellus Wilder got in the middle. And then it got a little bit raucous. But before that, man, it's two different dudes, man. It's the tale of two cities. Somebody's hostile. Somebody's ready. Somebody's amped. And the other guy is not sure about himself. Well, and that's what I saw.
Listen, I agree with you 100%. I'm gonna add this even to what you're saying. If you look at Fury in the press conference, Vladimir, and look at Wilder against Fury, you're basically seeing two different people. When Fury was against Vladimir, Fury was acting like Wilder. Now you see the press conference in this one, Fury is trying to be calm like Vladimir, where Wilder is acting like Wilder's starving. Wilder's starving Marvin, man. He want that bad, bro. He wants this really bad. I don't know. And therein lies how much someone wants it. But I tell you what, it would be great for boxing because I know if Wilder goes in and knocks him out and everything like that, fine. But I tell you what would be great for boxing if them two put on a Riddick Bowe Evander Holyfield performance, bro. But Wilder still, if they put on that would be the best thing. That would be the best outcome for both sides and for boxing. Whether they, but at the same time, when Evander Holyfield fought George Foreman in that similar scenario, sort of, they didn't give Evander Holyfield no props. You know what I'm saying? So it can work against you. So if you knock him out early, they will say he was a bum and that guy was no good. If you take him late, oh man, look how long you took the old guy bum. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what you do in this?
That's the thing about the people that would say that. The fact is, you guys know that this guy's a lineal champion. You know this guy beat Vladimir Klitschko. Now you're contradicting yourselves. That's my – now I will jump on people that say that. I had remarked yesterday that Fury was so fraught in that situation that he clenched his ass cheeks and might have pulled his hamstring in that fight. I mean, in that press conference. I'm serious because, again, Tyson Fury's never seen a guy like that.
No.
A guy that's in such a Zulu mode.
Yeah.
He's in Zulu mode. I just hit the hemp. I've been walking barefoot over 200 miles. I'm in Zulu mode. He's on some Shaka Zulu shit right now.
Yeah, he about to take his prey down, but he on Shalabin. He on that Black Panther thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? He on that Killmonger thing, right?
EJ, I'm telling you, man, I love this fight. I hadn't seen a damn good heavyweight show in 16 years.
Oh man.
So, you know, I mean, the last one was Lennox versus Tyson. That was the last big show. Everything else in between.
You didn't like the Vladimir one? No?
Vitaly?
Yeah.
I mean, Vitaly.
Yeah.
It was a good fight, but it wasn't Tyson Lewis. It wasn't the same level.
Okay.
That was Lennox Lewis with a tub of lard around his stomach. That was Lennox Lewis. That was basically Lennox Lewis versions of the Great White Hype. He just came in there with a beer belly, out of shape.
That was good though, because that was in the Staples Center. You know what I mean? And that was epic, bro. Because he was down on cards.
And remember, Lewis was 39.
Yeah, he was a year out after Tyson.
Right. So again, this is Lennox Lewis way past prime. Lennox Lewis eating Taco Bell for training. This wasn't in shape Lennox Lewis. Yeah. And had he not cut Vitaly Klitschko's face open, Vitaly could have beat him.
Well, he wasn't winning the fight. When Lennox Lewis was coming, to be fair, he was coming back though. Lewis was
coming back. That's because he cut his ass off.
He was down on cards. Yeah,
he cut the flesh off that dude's bone.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real.
Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? For heavyweights, you know who the referee is, right? Jack Reese.
No, I actually don't.
Jack Reese.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with him.
Jack Reese is that guy. He just lets you whoop, man. Jack Reese,
he's talking about that guy with those huge eyes.
Yeah, that's him. No, that's Steve Willis, right? Jack Willis is a white guy.
Oh, that's that gecko motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah. Steve Willis is great. Yeah. And he one of them dudes that he gonna let them whoop and just say he might as well be with us because he gonna let them whoop. He ain't gonna get involved at all. He gonna let them.
So the referee ain't saving nobody ass.
No Jack Reese. Nah, he gonna let them whoop each other ass, bro. He's very laid back like Smoker. He just let them do their thing. As long as they don't hit him, he cool. Jack Reese is a good he's a good official for this. What's up, Apple Type? Yo, man, I think any other referee would have spoiled the fight, but I think it's fair. But the thing is, it's funny, right? This fight's been in the making. I mean, you know, that time when Fury came into the ring and he was all talking confidently. There's only one Tyson Fury. I want to say, you know what I'm saying? You know the fight would have. You see, the fight would have happened around that time. It would have been nice. But you know the funny thing about it, right? When it comes to what Wilder hasn't done, he didn't fight Charles Martin. He ain't do this. He ain't do that. The thing is, the people understand. Like he fought on the same night as Charles Martin, right? Is that I think that's a he fought the same night.
Charles Martin was ranked ahead of him in the WBC at the time that Vitaly retired.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then Charles Martin beat Glashkov, and they were saying Glashkov is the truth, right? And then Charles Martin beat him, right? Charles Martin looked at his options and said, "Shit, I'm gonna fight Wilder." Hell no. How much AJ offering? They offering a couple $5 million. I was there in the press conference, the whole thing. Now, people say, "Oh, why did Wilder take chances?" Take this, man. Wilder go. You can already see what Wilder does, right? He makes his money and he goes back to Alabama in that beautiful river, in the forest and the trees, and you just relax, bro. You ain't thinking about hanging with your daughter. You hang with you ain't thinking about that. Your business people handle that stuff, right? In America, you do, and that's what he's been doing. He's been well groomed in his career, and when I talked to Wilder, actually, I mentioned him in the same breath as Jack Johnson. I go, don't you feel like you're like? I said to him,
I did that yesterday.
I actually said it to him. I said, I said, don't you feel like this is before he was a champion, by the way? I said, don't you feel like you're being criticized like Jack Johnson? He was criticized. It doesn't matter what you do, they gonna criticize you. Win this way. He goes, yeah, I can feel that because I can feel the same kind of I'm dark skinned, this, that. And what he said to Radio Raheem, he just spilled out. I mean, a lot of people, it woke a lot of people up, man. It's like, what? Oh, I need to go watch this fight now. I need to go watch this fight. He said, my people been oppressed for 400 years. 40 years, and still, you know what I'm saying? And Radio Raheem, I mean, you can criticize, but I'll tell you what, Radio Raheem, and maybe the brother, maybe he was the only one to get him to say that sort of thing, to make people stand up and want to watch the fight. Because I don't know, racism sells in America now. Sells pretty well, right?
Racism sells all over. Let's be real.
No, not in England, bro. Not in England, bro. We try to stay away from that. We stay away from
that, bro. But racism is a fine-tuned instrument in America. That's the best way I can put it.
Exactly, in America, right? But over here, now Europe, you see the stuff you go through in America, and you come to England, and a lot of people come from America, they come here, right? And they still have the same things they're dealing with, but it's not the same, bro. Because you remember, again, England took, colonized a lot of the world, right? And they colonized the Egyptians, they took all the stuff from the pyramid, they all brought it to England, right? And different parts of England. When you bring it to another country, to another part, then that country, in a sense, is cool, because they've got everyone's belongings. So they're like, why do we need to be so tight? That's what it is. England and Europe, other European countries, there's no reason for them to be so uptight and so gun-ho, so gun-thing. But your country is coming from bloody Native Americans, slavery. You battled the English. You've been fighting ever since, bro. And you still fighting Donald Trump right now. So your country's always at war, right? Our country, England's not like that, bro. It's TNT and crumpets. It's a bit laid back.
This week, 2 black men have died. One died at a shopping mall who's in the military. He had a gun legally. He was trying to help assist an active shooter situation. The cops didn't ask questions. They gunned him down.
Yeah.
Now they have a shitstorm. This happens every day in our country. This shit is real. And what Deontay Wilder, where he comes from, is the epicenter of antebellum in America. The slavery. Alabama and Mississippi were the hotbeds of slavery in the 19th century. That level of racism, that's where Alabama is the state where Martin Luther King marched across the bridge in Selma. The historical ramifications are still present. They just elected a state senator in Alabama. They elected a senator in Alabama, a female, who said, "This is like coming to a public lynching." I love it. She actually said that shit, and they still elected this bitch. That's how racist it is here. People don't give a fuck. You see, there's racism in England, in the UK. I covered that on my show today. You know, it's not as pronounced. But you guys in the UK are 3% of the population. It's like literally the 2011 census says 1.9 million people. Over 1 million people that are African descended or Black British live in the Greater London area. Over half the population that in the entire UK.
Well, you're not factoring mixed race. So mixed race is.
No, I didn't factor mixed race on purpose because they do separate it in the English sense.
Over here we don't. That's the thing. We don't. That's what I'm saying. So
I'm just saying, according to the English census, they do.
What's that?
According to the English census numbers, the government numbers that I read, they do.
Yeah, but mixed. You talk about all the You know when you put all the races.
It's the same thing here. It's the same thing here. They just invented the mixed race category in the last 10 years.
Yeah. So when you add mixed race, right? Because remember, England's more. There's a lot of mixed race. There's a lot of mixed races, interracial. That's what you call it over there. Relationships, right? That covers a lot. That covers. You'd be surprised how many interracial races over here. Loads, and that covers a lot. So if you're just talking about again, when it comes to black as well, you got obviously. People from the West Indies, people from Africa, and other parts of Africa and other parts of the Caribbean. Okay, the West Indians used to be the majority of the black over here in England, right? And now it's not so more. It's more African. There's more Africans, in certain areas than there is in West Indians in certain areas. But what I'm saying is that even though that's covered, and then there's a lot of black people in Birmingham, there's loads of black people in Manchester. Right, but London, probably I'd say London, because London is the biggest place. It's like, obviously like New York, right? New York or Texas, right? London is the biggest part, and it has the majority of obviously ethnic thing. So
but that population demographic is overwhelming because I'm from Texas. We got 50 states here, millions of square miles in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, Texas is 3 times bigger than the UK.
Yeah, I know. They told me I know this already. Y'all know the lone state. It's the lone state. I know already. Yeah.
So where I live, Dallas Fort Worth is literally 100 miles across. Megapolis, 100 miles across.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it doesn't seem that way because everything's spread out. But I mean, black people are everywhere in this country, and in our country, just like yours, generally mixed people are black people. That's how you get dropped. But
the thing is, again, this goes back to my point of Radio Raheem. Radio Raheem, and to be fair, I talked to Nez. I don't know if you talked to Nez in the boxing voice, right? He doesn't really
regard I never spoke to Nez.
Okay, I spoke to Nez, right? Nez doesn't regard himself as being black, right? He doesn't regard himself as black. He says he's Dominican, right? He regards off the landmass of where his people are, right? And if you really think about that, some West Indian people, they say they're Jamaican, but they're not saying they're black because the word black come from the Europeans, right? I mean, there was other words we called Nubians, or we was come from whatever part landmass was come. Landmass with Guinea, whatever part.
Well, Negro comes from a Portuguese word meaning black.
Yeah, but again, that's a European. Again, Portuguese is European.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But what I'm saying is this: we were regarded from the landmass we came from, right? So when it comes to like mixed race and stuff like that, the mixed race people decide which side they want to be in. That's how it is in England, right? So if they want to be more on let's say the European side, then so be it. Now, when it comes to Radio Raheem and his opinion, I simply, of my interactions and talking to the guy, is that he wants to be who he wants to be. So when he's asking that question, I know Deontay was looking at it like, and that's how you guys think that he should be able to understand me. But I was thinking to myself that maybe he doesn't regard himself as black, or maybe he might have an Hispanic background. And as you know, Puerto Ricans don't regard themselves as black. Puerto Ricans regard themselves as Puerto Ricans. Cubans regard themselves as Cubans. They don't see themselves as the colonialism. Yeah. They don't regard, because remember again, that word comes from them, Jay. And remember again, back in the day, in olden days, we was called by our landmass. So when it comes to Radio Raheem and mixed race people, they want to be called where their landmass is coming from. So at that point, when he asked Deontay what that question, maybe Deontay didn't see it that way, but I was thinking, I was like, okay, he doesn't want to be, he refused to see that way of that side. So then if he doesn't regard himself as that, then that makes that understanding of where that question comes from. But go ahead.
Okay. I'm a history guy. And I'm also, like, again, I live by facts. In Cuba, roughly 80 to 90% of the population could be considered phenotypically, which means appearance, by your skin. They'd be considered African. A lot of them consider themselves African. Most of the people that escaped before the Cuban Missile Crisis were actually white Cubans who had the affluency to come to America. But the majority of the population in Cuba would be black people in any other country. Dominicans. In fact, I'm going to just cut to the chase. 25% of the DNA of all Latins is African. It's inherent in them. They would be considered octoroons in this country overall. But that's not the case. There's pockets of people that have far more African ancestry than others due to admixture or lack of admixture. The thing with Radio Raheem, and I'm going to have to go after this because I got this little booger here running around. The thing about Radio Raheem, if Radio Raheem was caught in a hotel with a white girl and she ODs on coke, Radio Raheem is a black dude. I'm just telling you what it is. OJ Simpson. OJ was OJ. I'm just telling you, OJ was OJ until white people came up dead. Mm-hmm. I'm just telling you the truth. Mm-hmm. And I haven't been outside the States in a long time. And the same thing holds true. When that white girl ended up in that murderous situation in Italy, it was the black guy that took the fall. Mm-hmm. Out the blue. I mean, it's the same thing over and over. And maybe being here, you're poisoned by it. But I've seen it in other places in the world. I have. So I can't say I can't say, man, there's this glorious situation. You're looked at the way you're looked at. People can identify whatever the way they want.
Mm-hmm.
But when they write this shit down, it's usually you're a black motherfucker. And I'm just being real. I've been to Brazil. I've seen this shit repeatedly. Most black Brazilians don't identify as black. They identify as white people or European because that's what they identify as social status. It's a social status recognition.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
And so they want to look like the people that are most affluent, the people that are in charge. Okay. That's what they believe in. That's self-image. That's self-hate. That's just real. But hey, dude, send me your email because I got to roll. And we'll chop it up if you want to get on tomorrow. I wanted to get you on a day with Ingram from BWTM.
Yeah, I was listening. I watched the show yesterday. I saw the whole thing, bro. I was listening.
This one was today. I didn't have Ingram on yesterday.
Yeah. Sorry, I watched both. Actually, I watched both. I watched the one with no face, and I watched the one with today.
It's 12 o'clock. It's 12:30 over there. I'm sorry, 12:47.
Yeah, I watched.
My bad.
That's all right. I watched it anyway. I watched it. So
okay. Yeah, cool.
I put the Ingram color. All right, no problem, bro. World Breaker, man. It's good to have you over, man. I'll drop my email in the hangout, man. No worries.
All right, bro. We'll catch up.
All right, man. All right, man. Bless up.
All right, man. Take care.
Yeah, man. All right, so Habitat in the chat. We've got Aztec 101. I think Raheem wanted Wilder to go further into the Wilder passion comes from. Wilder took it like Radio Raheem was playing dumb. Man, good enough. But Wilder is in hype mode. Right question, but at the wrong time. Yeah, it could be. Future Past TV, the stats. Yeah. Fury. Yeah, Fury. Yeah, it wasn't a good fight. Right one. Apple type, yeah. Resistance is a strict. Yo, Apple type, you can jump in if you want to, man. Yeah. Who you guys picking? I got Wilder by stoppage. Wilder by any means necessary, as Malcolm X must say. Errol Spreads Jr., Aztec 101. Do you really have a Nigerian girlfriend? If he says he has, innit? You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna argue. No, I don't know any different. Apple Tack, how are travelers really treated in the UK? They ain't treated too good, bro. They ain't treated too good. But you know the thing is, they get along. They're very hard, man. Don't fuck with them though. They'll fuck you up, bro. They have a really big community. They work with each other, amongst each other to earn a living and stuff like that. And you know they just get along. People know what it is. You know what I mean? They fight from the crib, and they more or less just keep themselves. Just don't fuck with them, and they won't bother you. That's how they is, man. But at the same time, you know, some people do have some run-ins with them, and it's not pleasant. You know what I mean? So I can't really comment on too much like disagreements I've had with them, but I think Boxing Beats and Rhymes might say something else, man. I mean, he's had some run-ins with some travelers, and it hasn't been good. So you'd have to ask him about it. Oh yeah, EJ, what's up, my friend? Marcus Mackey. True that. Yeah, them man are salty. Yeah. I hope we get a great fight. Yeah, so the way Fury's due for a war. Yeah, man. Future Past TV. Are gypsies a race over there? A race? Oh man, I already covered this race thing already, man. It's all humans, bro. The travelers are a community, man. There's another tribe, man. That's what it is. It's like, you know, everyone's part of different tribes, man. That's all we are. Some Aerospace Junior. Sometimes I have sympathy for travelers, but some travelers are racist towards blacks. And others, everyone's racist towards everyone else, man. And you're right. And it depends in the are, man. Just stay in your lane, innit? Yeah. Gypsies and Irish and English. Yeah. Marcus McKee. Yeah, man. Oh, man. The link's in the chat. If you guys want to jump in, you're welcome, man. Yeah, like I said, man, with this Radio Raheem situation and stuff like that, as I put it out, man. Like my leave them race shit out of boxing. Yeah, leave the. And another mother. Leave them race shit out of boxing. Listen, race has always been in boxing. That's what boxing's cultivated on, man. It's cultivated. If you look at the early days, black people had the battle royales where they have to fight blindfolded, like 5 in the ring until one person was left standing. Black people, what's his name again? Joe Gans couldn't start. They used to have like 25 rounds. He couldn't start fighting until round 7. It was in the contract. So you basically had to just move around and didn't try and get hurt. You couldn't throw no punches, but you was in there. And if you got to the ropes, they used to use sticks to smash your legs. You know what I mean? Racism's always been in boxing, especially in America and anywhere else. When any country, if you look at any country any tribe or anything conquers another tribe, they take over. I think another ones were the tribes that took over a lot, especially in Russia around them, was the Huns. I think it was the Huns, where they took over tribe. They didn't kill them, they just basically assimilated them. If you know what Star Wars, yeah, when another tribe takes over, especially the Borg, what they used to do, they used to assimilate you to their culture. That's what a lot of tribes do. And if you look at when the English colonialism came over different countries, and India and Africa and China, all they did is assimilate the stuff they wanted to their culture. Tea doesn't come from England, come from India. If you look at the lion on the England flag, where's any lions in England? England ain't got no lions. All the lions are from Africa. So everything. If you look at England, they've assimilated stuff from Egypt. If you look at Egypt, no one even knew Egypt was from Africa, man. They never did it because they won't say that. But yeah, that's why they brought the pyramid structurally brought over. I went to go to the British Museum. They have structures from Africa in the British Museum, what they brought over in the 1920s. All right, they didn't come from England. They brought it over here. You know, if you look at Memphis in America, Memphia, that's a place in Egypt. That's a place, a proper place in Egypt, Memphia. But they labeled it Memphis, and that's why you see Memphis have a pyramid. Why do you think they have a pyramid? Because that's a name from Egypt. That's a name for Africa, and the Memphis is an African name. Like people wouldn't even know that. Like you wouldn't even know that. So everything's been took from other countries and to build their countries, and then it's like they took your name and culture, took it and then relabeled it and gave it back to you. That's what's happened here. You know, that's what happened here. All right, what we got here? Leave the shit out of boxing. Boxing's always got race. Too many people obsessed with race. That's the way it is, man. The way it is. Marcus Guerrero. I think radio didn't mean how he meant what he meant. He meant what he meant. Radio Ray Raheem here. He meant Jack Johnson had it tough, yeah, in those days. Yeah, I had a documentary of Jack Johnson. It was like for an hour and a half, and it was one of the most profound documentaries on YouTube. And they took it off, man. They took it down. They said someone else owned the rights to it and stuff, which it did belong to someone. I didn't know who. I reckon they took it down because it was just too profound, man. I want to put it back up again, but you know, YouTube and stuff like that. It was a really good documentary I had up. Future Past TV, that's not what I mean. I never mean to be, I never been to the UK from what I heard. It gets treated badly in the UK. UK is all right. Yeah, UK is okay. You know what I mean? There ain't no one bothering you. I mean, you from America, wherever. People cool with you, cool with them, innit? It's like anywhere, man. You cool with them, innit? They stole from the Greece, exactly. The pyramids, yeah, in Greece, exactly. They stole. The Greece came all the Greece people. They used to come to Egypt to learn. They used to come to and they used to come to, what's the place called now, man? They used to come to all the place to learn from Africa, man. Everyone knows this. It's common knowledge. They know this, man. You know what I'm saying? But they, you know, everything Greece and stuff that they learned from the Egyptians and built their own thing. That's what everyone does. Just and then try to act like it never came from nowhere. You know, slavery has been all around since men have been created. There's always been people slaving other people. Even now, even if you look at it now, man, I'm not trying to say men slave their women, but bro, it's easy for a man to marry a woman and make her a slave, cook, clean, and that's all you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Even your kids, when your kids are born, they're your property until they get to a certain age. But that's why, like, the government want to control that. The government want to control kids. So hence, when the kids go to school, if the kid come from school and the kids tell the teachers that you've been beating them, the kids can be removed. Imagine that, removed from the parent. So then the parent feels like that. So what they do, they took the ruling from the parent and gave it to the government. The government are people. But to make the kids slave in the system and everyone knows, if you've ever been in an adopting system, that shit's fucked up. That shit's real fucked up. Any kid's been adopted, trust me. Because if you're adopted, right? Yeah, it's madness. If you're adopted, all you think about is trying to find your mom and dad. That's all you'll be thinking about every day of every waking day. Where's my mom? Where's my dad? That's all you're thinking about. And then they didn't want me. You feel abandoned. And all you do for your life is trying to find, and on top of that, you go, because you ain't got no real guardians looking out for you, really, in effect, you get up to bullshit. So the government ain't supposed to be looking after. That's just structurally, it's all messed up, man. It's all messed up. You know, the laws that people write down is like, okay, you can't, I'm going to write a law down, you can't step on the grass. But, okay, so you step on the grass, you're going to go to jail, right? And you're like, yo, you can go to jail for that. But then what enforces law is the police force and the army. They're all they are is enforcements of the paper that some people up who we elect or have so-called power. They don't have real power. Their power lies in the army, right? Then all it is that them people enforce the laws what are written down. That's all this is. It's basically a paper-based society. It's like I write something down on paper and then that will be word. Like it's like, okay, 10 commandments in it. I write something down and that will be it. Yeah, puppets. In effect, yeah, puppets. That's all people are. And some people live by that. Some people in their DNA have as we're born, right? As we're born, there's certain DNA we're born with. We're born with DNAs of curiosity and all these different things. And how your alignment of your brain waves think, yeah, is the people you have around you. So if you're around dumb people, then you become dumb. If you're around people who are smart, then you naturally become smart. If you're watching boxing is the ultimate way of physically defending yourself, whether you're in it, watching it, whatever. Because every day is a fight for us, isn't it? Even when we're getting old, right? As we're getting older, people are more trying it. When you're younger, people try to bully you. And then you get to a certain age where no one bullies you. But then as you're getting older, you can't defend yourself more. So that's why it's always good to rely on the community and the people around you, your family, to protect you from other people, because people will take advantage of you as you get older, and that's the way things are. And if you really think about it, is it really, have we really evolved that much from if you look at the so-called jungle or the so-called forest is out there where the big eats the small, and so on and so on and so on, because we're still basically primarily the same. It's just that we don't show our teeth all the time of what we really want to do, because people are sneaky about what they want to do. When someone wants to kill you, rape you, or do whatever they want to do, they don't tell you. They plan it, wait, catch you at your most vulnerable point, and then they attack you. That's what people do. If you look at Radio Raheem in that situation, he caught Wilder in a vulnerable point, and to be fair, he done it to get views for his platform, which is seconds out. You know, he saw Wilder was angry, and he wouldn't ask him a question that no one else even thought of. Very smart, if you look. But in turns, people alienated him, but Radio Raheem had the desired effect. But later on, the reason why he probably talked to Wilder later on is to smooth it up, because he didn't want to get blackballed. That's what he did. He didn't want to get blackballed, because that could happen to digital media. He didn't want to get blackballed by the Shelley Finkel and all the PBC, because it's gone around everyone and they've seen what he's done. Because Mayweather blackballed him, right? I remember Mayweather blackballed him because Mayweather had a charity event, basketball event, I remember. And in the charity basketball event, Mayweather was talking about the charity and doing the stuff for the kids. And Radio Raheem was asking him about the Manny Pacquiao fight. And Mayweather looked at him. And then I said, okay. And then you can see Mayweather looking at him. Why you ask me this for? You know what I mean? You know, Mayweather gave him the interview because he saw him as another black brother, so-called black brother. Thought, you know, he's going to help boost my fame. He thought, you know, that guy's cool. But Radio took advantage of Mayweather's kindness in terms of, because Mayweather didn't interview no one else, but he interviewed him. And that day, ever since that day, Mayweather was never, ever got interviewed by Radio Raheem ever again. Check if you think I'm lying. Because I remember Radio Raheem, when he was trying to interview Mayweather just embarrassed him every single time. And consequently, that's what happened to him. You know, so I think Radio Raheem's whole thing of trying to talk to Wilder after is to make sure he didn't get blackballed and try to look out for himself. Even though he caused controversy, he realized seconds later, oh shit, I better make up with him, man. He might blackball me, man. God, you know what I'm saying? I might get blackballed. But anyway, I'm gonna end it with that. Right? Hope you guys are thoroughly entertained, because end of the day, when you come to EJ Boxing Live channel, you'll be entertained, right? You will entertain, you will have knowledge, you will open your perspective of life and how things are, and that's what I like to do. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna, and also you have interesting people like Worldbreaker, man, very intellectual and philosophical guy. So make sure you sub to his channel. Big up to all the guys in the chat. All you guys in the chat, man. If I say start your name, you guys are gonna say, "Oh, you guys forgot my name" and stuff like that. So I say, everyone who's in the chat right now, make sure you thumbs up the video, man. I appreciate all you guys thumbing up the video. Raheem is stayed out. Yeah, it's laid out. Yeah, man. He's just trying to make a buckle, but she's shock jock. Shock jocks don't last for long, you know. It's not good to shock jock, because you do it and it's like people realize how what's the word? How you're not desperate, how cunning you are to get views or to get things, but in the long run, it doesn't work out. You know, it doesn't work out. Wilder could just blackball Radio Raheem just like that. He can blackball Radio Raheem with a snap of his finger. Trust me, bro. And there's nothing Radio Raheem could do. Nothing. It goes, I don't want that guy nowhere around me no more. Nowhere around me. and then they won't give him no access. Because remember, he's just digital media. He's not the mainstream network media like Showtime or Fox or nothing like that. He's not one of them guys, so he can be blackballed. Fury might blackball Wilder. He could. You never know. I don't think so, though. He could. But we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. Hey, tomorrow's the weigh-in. We're gonna get some more insight into the weight of Fury, because Fury, really, we know Wilder's on weight. Wilder's gonna be light as he always is, always in shape, 100% professional. He's gonna be in shape. He'll probably be calm, maybe or not, and we'll see what happens there, man. I'm EJ Boxing Live. If you have not subbed, make sure you sub now. Press that bell to get notification. I got 2 channels, by the way, that I use all the time. I got this one, and I have the other EJ Boxing Live. You can just type the same name and you'll see my other channels. I have like 6, but I use 2 mainly. Appreciate all you guys subbing. I appreciate all you guys coming over and listening to my opinions. And I'll be back tomorrow. You take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.